Y'all know what it is.
But so ammonia is hydrogen and nitrogen. It's NH3. So it's a big fat nitrogen molecule surrounded by these three hydrogen molecules. And that triple bond is the most difficult, one of the most difficult to break. And so the issue with using ammonia has been either you burn ammonia by itself, which has a very narrow flammability limit, 18 to 22%, or you add a combustion promoter. You add something to ammonia to make it burn better, especially in compression ignition. Or in spark ignition engines, you just juice up the spark, and then you can easily run the car on pure ammonia. But there are a number of additives you can use. You can use a carbon additive. You can use hydrogen as an additive. You can even burn ammonia and oxygen and increase the flammability. So what ammonia is the easy way to use hydrogen, because there is more hydrogen in ammonia than there is in liquid hydrogen. There's actually about 1.5 times as much hydrogen in ammonia. And it's very low pressure, -30 to liquefy it, whereas hydrogen to liquefy is 5 to 10,000 psi and -400, almost -500 C. It takes about 40% of the energy in hydrogen to liquefy it. Well, it's interesting, it takes 40% of the energy in natural gas to liquefy it. And it turns out that you convert natural gas to ammonia and transport almost twice as much hydrogen in ammonia in a natural gas pipeline as you can hydrogen in natural gas. And when you start adding hydrogen to natural gas lines as being proposed, because hydrogen is the least dense thing we have, you'll have even less hydrogen in a natural gas pipeline.
So now,
go ahead.
I've actually heard that hydrogen is corrosive to iron. It makes it brittle. And so if you're running it through a pipeline, an iron pipeline, it can actually cause problems. Whereas if you convert it to ammonia, it doesn't do that. Is that correct?
Yes, essentially, yes. There are serious issues about metal embrittlement in hydrogen. Okay. Now the industry says, "Oh no, we'll figure it out." Well, replacing the entire gas pipeline infrastructure is probably not the way to figure it out. And if it fails, it won't fail at a localized level where the hydrogen is injected and mixed with the gas. It will fail along the entire system because the hydrogen will separate out from the gas. Now, is it possible to do this with low amounts of hydrogen, say 5 or 10% of capacity? Probably. Why? It's insane. I'll give you a couple examples, a couple of great examples of basic grade 3 math, okay?
I don't know. That's a little over my head.
It's hard for our politicians, but it's pretty good for, I get lots of emails from 12-year-olds. Okay. Okay. Look, you can take our natural gas infrastructure and convert it over to carry hydrogen and ammonia and increase the global distribution capacity and storage capacity by 25 times. That's a huge number. And let me explain it this way. Right now, we spend roughly 6 months, less 2 weeks, filling up the ammonia infrastructure so the farmers can empty it as fertilizer. Then we spend another 6 months filling it up and they empty it. So we have to build a storage infrastructure for 6 months. If you turn that into a fuel and make it throughput, like other forms of energy where you're basically refilling the capacity every 2 weeks, we can increase the distribution of ammonia by 25 times. Now, over half the cost of ammonia is distribution. All right, so now let's talk about pipeline distribution. That's for storage and distribution by truck, et cetera, et cetera. There are ammonia pipelines in the United States, right up from New Orleans up through the Midwest. If we, instead of distributing natural gas, distributed ammonia, we could distribute almost twice the amount of hydrogen in ammonia in our existing natural gas infrastructure. There is no infrastructure in anything on Earth where you can increase its capacity that big, spending no money. So it's a huge opportunity to move to green energy, repurposing a highly underutilized infrastructure.